Hello dear friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Mukesh English. I have few questions to begin this video. A person's sacrifice for the country brings him honor and dignity. Does it always bring a sense of responsibility among countrymen? A tragedy due to negligence invokes criticism rather than sympathy. Do you agree? Let's try to find these questions answers in this video by the famous story titled Two Friends, written by the famous 19th century French writer Guy de Maupassant, who is also pronounced as Guy de Maupassant in French. About the author, Guy de Maupassant was an important French naturalist writer who was most well known for his short stories. His writing career was short lived but extremely prolific. Between 1880s and 1890s, he wrote over 300 short stories as well as several full length novels and a book of poetry. His literary works often depicted the everyday lives and the struggles of the working class. True to the natural style, he presented his characters objectively without making moral judgments about their behaviors and actions. His slice of lifestyle of writing is very much well known for its ability to capture the true essence of life in France in the late 80s. The historical context of the story. The historical context of the text is during the Franco-Prussian War. The war was fought between the French and Prussians around the 19th century. The setting of the text is in Paris. By describing Paris as a place of famine and depression, it portrays the effect of war between two opponents. It can be seen in the very first line where it is mentioned, besieged Paris was in throes of famine, even the sparrows on the roofs and the rats in the sewers were growing scarce and people were eating anything they could get. The story examines French bravery, German stereotypes, and usually for Maupassant. It also discusses the nature and justification of war in the form of conversation between two protagonists. The story begins with the introduction of two friends, Monsieur Morisot, a watchmaker, and Monsieur Sauvage, a retailer. One morning, they are both strolling a street of Paris alone and hungry. They stumble upon each other, and both of them are very old fishing buddies. They used to meet each other at the waterside on Sundays with the roads sit side by side each other, and sometimes they used to stay until sunset. When they recognize each other on the street, they're reminded of these old memories and now they're upset due to the Franco War situation. After recognizing each other and recollecting the past memories, both of them go to a cafe to have a drink. Then they proceed to a wine shop to have another drink. With empty stomachs, they quickly become drunk. They decide that the next place they will go is fishing. After fetching the roads, they begin their walk towards the water. In order to go there, they have to pass a French military outpost. They get the permission and the returning password from the French colonel. They continue walking until they reach the river, but not without worrying that they may be spotted by the Germans. Once they start fishing, they are soon lost in the joy of it. They catch fish after fish. Their happiness suddenly comes to a halt when they realize four men with guns are standing behind them. They tremble and drop the rods which float down the river. One of the gunmen takes away the bag of freshly caught fish. The two friends are bound and taken to a lead officer who is able to speak French. He asks the two friends for the password to enter the outpost. They are assured that if they tell the password, their lives will be spared. Shaking and afraid, neither Monsieur Morisot nor Monsieur Sauvage give the password. Both remain silent and do not utter the password. The officer commanded the soldier to raise the rifles, and Monsieur Morisot felt weakness and fury by looking at the net full of fish. His eyes fill with tears as he says goodbye to his friend, who also replies him the same way. They shook each other's hands as they were both trembling. The officer ordered the soldiers to fire, and the 12 shots simultaneously hit in the direction of the two friends who fell over each other. The soldiers took their bodies and threw them into the river. On his way home, the officer noticed the net full of fish, so he asked the chef to fry them Then he burned against his smoking pipe. To conclude, the story reflects here three important facts. First, the sense of nostalgia. The two main characters, Matthew Morissot and Matthew Sauvage, remembered the old times when both of them enjoyed fishing together before the war happened. Both of them were talking about the relaxing and fun moment when they unexpectedly met after the war. The mood of this part expresses slight happiness because the two friends coincidentally met after the war. All of their fun experiences were suddenly remembered after meeting each other. This is the sense of nostalgia. Sense of friendship and patriotism. Friendship is portrayed when the two main characters were executed by the Prussians. When the Prussian officer asked them for the password, either of them did not tell the code, which could have rescued one of their lives. This shows that Morissot and Sauvage stayed loyal to each other even at the face of death. Patriotism is expressed when both of them remained silent and did not tell the password of the entrance to Paris. They know that if both of them had told the truth, their country would have been more in disaster because the Prussians would be able to enter the French territory. Both Morissot and Sauvage showed their love for their country by fighting for their own nation, even if it was the price of death. Sense of peace. When the two main characters were kind to each other and did not fight just to steal each other's small belongings, generally, in a state of war, many people suffer due to hunger, loss of shelter, and poverty. Peace is always non existent at a time of war, but in this story, peace was existing. Even if both the characters were also suffering from war, they were not greedy and they still remained as close friends like how they were earlier. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please click on the like button, share the video. For more videos, please do subscribe the channel. Thank you once again.